Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, salamun alaikum. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been speaking since Friday night, and I hope you're not bored of me. I want to begin by thanking you all for your presence and wishing you Eid Mubarak. What an amazing achievement. 125 special, incredible, fabulous, wonderful people together. And being high achievers means we lead incredibly busy lives. Professional commitments, businesses to run, charitable organizations to function, programs to go through, people to manage, and so on. And as high achievers, you are demanded in multiple time zones at multiple times. Multitasking is often the key to success. And yet, you took time out of your packed schedules to make it here today and to come for a higher purpose. So I want to thank you for your presence here this weekend. If we said the cost of this was the funds put in, then we're wrong. The cost of this is much more. If we put in the cost of each person's hours, and if we bill that, we'd probably get to over $1 million. That is the cost and the social cost of having this weekend. As Sibtain said, our special thanks to the volunteers, our thanks to the institutions that attended, like the World Federation, represented by Al-Hajj Anwar Dharamsi and team. We want to thank Council of European Jamaats, Nasimco, Africa Federation as well. Their presence means a lot to us. Our institutions have done great work over the years. They've provided that thread that has kept us together, and we thank them for their efforts. This weekend, I think we have realized a difference for our community and humanity. We've started on a journey of strategic thinking in our philanthropic work. Let's take a moment to reflect how wonderful our community is. And yes, there are issues, as we discussed on the panel, but what a platform we have. Let us take a moment to look at the wonderful philanthropic work that's already taking place in here. Let me look at some examples. Look at the MJ group led by Mohammed Jafar and the fantastic work he's doing in Africa. Let us look at the work of the Akbar Ali Foundation and the great work they're doing in Madagascar, in areas like cancer for women, like other things and so on. Let us look at the Molubai family and the fantastic work they have done in silence, keeping it quiet, as we say in the UK, keeping it down low, year after year in India for generations. Look at the great work that the likes of Sajjad Ibrahim and Mustafa Qasim have done on education and so on. Look at the wonderful Masjid Al-Hay, the beautiful, inspiring, dazzling mosque that has been built by one benefactor. Take the pioneering Habib University, $60 million investment in one university by one Khoja family. And the fact that it is widening access to higher education. Look at Mark, the Mullah Asghar Resource Center by the Hirji family and the wonderful work they have done. Look at the high achievers. Look at Shabil Laka, who gave the World Federation an NGO status at first attempt. He knows how difficult it is to get that. He knows the challenges he personally overcame to give that a success. Look at Raza Jafar, who's taken on the humanitarian goals. Look at the work he has done on the Sustainable Development Network and the fact that he's providing leadership as an individual. And I'm passionate that we need to harness this talent and bring it together. This weekend has given momentum, it has given focus, it has been exhilarating, it's been empowering, and yes, it's been exhausting as well. So how do we move forward? Well, Khoja Business Leaders Summit will now become a think tank. We'll call it something, maybe Khoja Leadership Forum and so on. Becomes a think tank on how we collectively take philanthropy to the next level. The train has started. Let's get towards the end point. It will provide information to our institutions to progress their work and help the families and foundations come together, leverage the success, and work towards greater missions. And yes, this Eid-e-Ghadir has been historic for us because today we have given birth to the idea of the Khoja Wealth Fund. KWF, Khoja Wealth Fund. And yes, we have soft pledges. I think it's, after my talk, it's gone up by $5 million, $15 million or so. That's not the point. Here we can make something of $100 million, $200 million, and so on. And I was very moved by that spirit. Part of the fund's yields can go towards into our own community and uplifting poverty, eradicating Khoja poverty once and for all. and a part of it as a return to the investors. We must put together much more detailed schemes, much more detailed actions, and not make emotional decisions. This needs to be and must be a well thought out, transparent, accountable concept. And we must have stakeholder accountability. Then that will be the legacy of this summit. And it's fitting that we are celebrating Eid al-Gadir. We are making, in that way, the Davos dream, the starting point, the foundation, the platform, a reality. This is the most important of all Eids, Eid al-Gadir. As per Surah Ma'idah, the day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfected the faith and completed his favors upon us and chose Islam as the path of salvation. So it perfects us that we move forward in perfecting our collective work as well. This is the legacy taught to us by human beings like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And a great example we need to look to is the Astana Quds Razavi, the endowment fund of Imam Reza alayhi salam. This endowment has lasted over 1,200 years and has transformed into a conglomerate of its own. It employs 19,000 people in different businesses. It invests in areas like auto plants and agriculture. And today, it's worth between $15 billion and $17 billion. That is the potential. Take the entire surroundings of Imam Reza's Haram in Mashhad and think of the fact in your eyes about the job creation, the economic upliftment, and what we can do for our community and for humanity. We can also make this dream a Khoja initiative, a perpetual growth, but not just for Khojas, but for humanity at large. This journey is a long way to go, but we can all agree that this day and a half, these 2 days, has been historic. We are pledged together for greater collaboration, greater cooperation, and even co-creation. The benefits of working together are immense. Economies of scale, sharing best practices, unleashing the multiplier effect, and sharing knowledge and networks, providing more opportunities for our community and humanity at large. Above all, I have an agenda. My agenda is eradicating poverty in the Khoja community. That is why I took part in this. That is why I do all my voluntary work. Because I think there are Khojas who are still in absolute poverty. I think there are Khojas who are suffering immensely. And that is our collective duty to sort that out once and for all. We're privileged to be members of a community that was forged out of courage, perseverance, and success. Those traders who set sail from their Indian homeland in the 19th century have now become a community of entrepreneurs and successful individuals. Davos, ladies and gentlemen, can be a start of a new world for us, a new way of working, a new way of collective engagement and engagement with the outside world. Davos can allow us to think about harnessing the talent we have in our community, getting past the bureaucracy, and working for collective benefits. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, after a day and a half, I invite you to look and to sign the Davos Accord. An accord we have done based on the plenary discussions. An accord that will move us forward, that brings together our values and shows some real commitment. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your marker in history. Thank you. Thank you very much. Should I read the accord?
Yes, please.
Do you want to read what you sign, or can you just sign it? Huh? How many will just sign? Okay, I'll read it out. Okay, the Davos Accord, prepared some hour ago or so. And it begins. And it's a quotation from the Holy Quran, Surah 21, verse 73. And we made them leaders, guiding men of our command. And we send them inspiration to do good deeds, to establish regular prayers, and to practice regular charity. And they constantly served us. We, a group of Khoja business leaders, and Khoja high achievers met in Davos, Switzerland on the 9th and 10th of September 17, with the aim to support one another, to increase our philanthropic efforts, to develop community and humanity at large. We recognize the immense work by so many people that has made this summit a success. We recognize the critical importance of the key issues we discuss. We recognize the historic nature of our gathering and the legacy that must follow. Our resolutions. We are resolved to tackle 3 challenges that we highlighted as our priorities. Eradicating poverty in the Khoja community through sustainable economic development. Education and emergency disaster relief. We are resolved to create a Khoja Wealth Fund as a sustainable way to leverage our potential. We are resolved to share best practice, pool resources, and cross-pollinate ideas through collaboration and partnership. We adopt the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals with the Global Sustainability Network, which we have the power to attain. A, to achieve higher levels of economic productivity. B, to end forced labor. And C, to protect labor rights. Ladies and gentlemen, please recite aloud salawat. Can I please invite Anwar Baidaramsi, President of the World Federation, and Sibtain Bayasaria, and the rest of you, please, to sign the Khoja Davos Accord. Ahsantum.